Headbanging. Okay, now we definitely got it on camera because you did it again. Don't hit your head on the wall, please.
Thank you for joining us today. Just kidding, Laura. It's been a very, very, very long day, so I'm trying to. So it's actually Saturday to be. Well, I'm really dizzy.
Gee, I wonder why.
Edition of Meals in the Making. Again, we have no theme this week. We are just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. So I've got barbecue mini meatloaf muffins for you. Say that 12 times fast. And then we also have a creamy Tuscan chicken that you can put over zoodles or spaghetti squash noodles, or just put it with something else. You don't have to put it over noodles. Typically we meal prep on Sundays, but our Sunday tomorrow is going to be very full. So it's Saturday night. Robbie has been gone at the ranch all day, so he's been driving and been out in the sun. I've been cooking and cleaning this house all day long, so we're both exhausted. And so if you see me wearing this and a couple other videos, because I filmed 2 other videos today, 3 including the vlog, just know it was all done in the same day. I'm not wearing the same clothes for several days in a row.
That's my trick when I'm out at the ranch.
Yep. They don't bathe when they're out.
I change my underwear.
There's really no reason for a shower to be out there because none of them use it. Anyway,
well, it's in case you get really, really, really muddy.
It's been a long day, so let's get this video started and let me show you what's needed for both of them. For the creamy Tuscan chicken, you will need 1.5 pounds of uncooked chicken breasts, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 cup of low-fat plain Greek yogurt, half a cup of reduced sodium chicken broth, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 cup of reduced fat Parmesan cheese, 1 cup of baby spinach, 3 to 6 grape tomatoes, So now that Robbie has so graciously cooked this chicken, I'm going to move on with the recipe. I'm going to remove the chicken from this pot for a second and just set it aside on a plate, but I will continue to use this pot to get everything else ready. So I'm going to set the front burner on medium-high heat, and I'm going to add in everything to this pot. So I need a cup of Greek yogurt. I'm using half a cup to measure this out, so I will use the same thing in just a second. Half a cup of chicken broth, my half a teaspoon of garlic powder, my half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So I'm also gonna add in, I had to give it a little bit of a whisk. We were having technical difficulties and it was starting to bubble. I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese now. I'm gonna give it a good whisk until it starts to thicken up a little bit. I'm going to continuously whisk it until it thickens. Okay, so that's starting to thicken up a little bit. I'm going to grab my spinach and my sun-dried, or I'm using grape tomatoes, same thing, no big deal. I'm gonna add in about a cup of spinach, half a cup, and there's a cup of spinach. And let that cook up a little bit until it starts to wilt. I'm also gonna throw in the tomatoes, and then I'm gonna add in these tomatoes and let that start cooking up. It looks pretty delicious. Sadly, we will not be eating it right now. We'll eat it sometime this week, and I'll just make some zucchini spirals with my new veggie I got, but I'm gonna add the chicken back in, and then this is done. It's ready to go. It's ready to eat. It just needs to be poured over some kind of pasta or veggie noodle or whole wheat pasta, or you can just eat it plain. It's up to you. So this meal is 3 servings, and each serving is 1 lean, 1 fat, and 3 condiments. So you also have about 1/3 of a green right here with your spinach. So you'll just need to add, like I said, 2 more greens, which can be done with the salad or with your veggie noodles. For the barbecue mini meatloaf muffins, you will need 1 pound of extra lean ground beef, salt and pepper to taste, 1/2 cup of chopped zucchini or chopped cauliflower. We use cauliflower in this household all the time, so of course we picked cauliflower. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 2 tablespoons of sugar-free barbecue sauce. I'm using G. Hughes. You can use anything as long as it's sugar-free. The recipe calls for sugar-free and they suggest Walden Farms, but I didn't have it at my H-E-B, so sugar-free, any barbecue sauce is fine. For the barbecue mini meatloaf muffins, you're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees for later. Okay, so I'm actually doubling this recipe, but all of the ingredients and the quantity of them that I just gave you is correct for 1 batch of this. It does make 3 servings though. This recipe is very simple. You mix everything together and put it in muffin cups. I like simple here, so I think it's great that this is a really simple recipe that can be whipped up either the day of or on a Sunday night when you're meal prepping. It's just very, very simple. So I'm going to put in my first pound of ground beef. Again, I'm using extra lean. I recommend you use the leanest that you got, or the leanest that you can find. Here's the second pound of ground beef. So now I'm gonna add a whole cup of cauliflower because like I said, I'm doubling it. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. Add it to taste. So if you like yours really, really salty, be careful because of the sodium, but add that. Same thing for the pepper. I'm not really much of a pepper person. Probably likes pepper though, so we kind of compromise. Gonna add my 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon if you're also doubling it of cayenne pepper. I'm gonna add my whole teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon if you're not doubling it of garlic powder. The same amount of onion powder as I did for garlic powder. Yum. So I'm gonna be adding 4 tablespoons of sugar-free barbecue sauce because it's doubled, but my meat is not all the way thawed. So what I'm gonna do is, well, first of all, if I can get this barbecue sauce out, I'm going to warm up my barbecue sauce just a little bit so that will somehow help my meat to thaw a little bit more because I do have to mash it up and mix it together in order to make them into muffins. And I'm gonna pour it into the bowl and try and get it pretty much directly on the meat so that it kind of warms it up. And Robbie is going to stir it up for me because he thinks I'm incompetent.
No.
I'm just kidding. Okay, and barbecue sauce is flying. All right, so I'm going to spray this muffin tin. I'm gonna use the olive oil pan spray. Looks a little something like this. I'm gonna spray them really good because according to the recipe, they stick, so. Perfect. Then I'm going to, with my hands, form this into a muffin shape and pop it into the muffin tin, and then I'll pop it in the oven. I'm gonna pop these into the oven for 30 minutes, and then when it's time to eat them, which is not now, whenever we decide to eat them, we can top it with just a little bit more You have 4 more tablespoons of barbecue sauce that you can use. So you just top it with that. So it's kind of like your little topping for your meatloaf. So here is our finished product for the barbecue mini meatloaf muffins. You get 3 for 1 serving, and each serving is 1 lean, 1 green, and 3 condiments. So you will need something extra for your green, like a salad or green beans or broccoli or whatever it is that you like. So thank you guys so much for watching today's version of Mallory in the Making. Robbie's over here laughing. I hope you enjoyed this week's recipes. I'm sure they're gonna be amazing. Haven't tried them yet, but I've heard really good reviews on them. I will leave the recipes down below. Like I say every single week, if you have a certain recipe you'd like to be plan approved or you'd like to see some kind of recipe made, please leave that down in the comments. Also be watching out for that 1,000 subscriber week of videos. I promise it's coming soon. I'm still getting everything ready. Total channel relaunch. Everything's being upped. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. We love you all and God bless you.